Some neurologist just blew the whistle and said ADHD doesn't exist. He said ADHD was invented to hook kids on drugs. I've literally been saying this since 2022, and y'all didn't want to believe me back then. Because you need a study to confirm things. Oh, well, Grant, you can't just say that. Where's the study on that? October 2022. I said ADHD doesn't exist. What they call ADHD is actually just standard dopamine responses. Kids don't want to listen to boring-ass Miss Wilson. They want to play. Tom can't study because it's fucking boring and his phone's right next to him. You can't focus because you hate what you're doing. And your brain knows less expensive dopamine is just around the corner. You can take all the ADHD drugs that you want. They're just going to artificially pump your brain with fake dopamine so all the boring shit balances out and everything becomes boring. People love labeling stuff. ADHD is literally just a skill issue. An overactive mind is a gift, not a curse, right? They're going to convince you that you have something wrong and something's broken with you just because you have an overactive mind. It's actually a signal of IQ. But society will call it a curse because they want to castrate it and fix it with a bunch of medications because they want to make money off you. Because if they convince you that you're broken, then you're going to want to buy a solution. It's marketing. Because if they let it stay unfixed by you being unable to focus on boring stuff and only be able to do fun stuff, well, then you'd become doomed to live a life of following your dreams and thinking independently. Have you ever asked yourself why anything that makes it harder to control you is labeled as a problem? But Grant, you're saying none of this is random and it's actually just a plot to make me buy more stuff and feel bad about myself? No, I'm not saying that, but some neurologist.
What's funny is, right, he does make a good point, and he is right. He does make a good point. But I'm looking at the comments over here, right? Somebody said, hi, person with ADHD. I'm 43. Have you ever been so paralyzed by 1,000 thoughts, all trying to converse at the same time? So much that you can't even leave the house, but I guess I'm just bored. Yes, you're just bored. Tell that to my ADHD. My ADHD would disagree. Somebody else said I have AUHD. I don't know what that is. And yes, it's a thing, though it's less about poor attention and hyperactivity and more about an extreme difficulty in managing excessive functions. I can't even. Ooh, snap, snappy, snap, snap, snap. Praise the Lord. We got the pastor in the house. Pastor baby. Double Speaks is in the house. Make sure y'all go check out Double Speak telecast, y'all. I mean, he be funny, positive talks, positive reactions. And he be giving out the word, yo. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, baby. Shout out to Double Speak Show. Make sure y'all go check him out. But for real, like, my son suffered from autism and ADHD, right? And the medications really just made it worse. I'm gonna be very honest with y'all, right? The way to work with him was more through counseling and having him occupied in the things that drew his attention. And it's a little bit hard to put into words, but the medication doesn't really help all. Glory to be to God. Glory be to God, baby. But yo, for real, just get second opinions, third opinions when you have a child with and I'm talking about medical opinions, right? When you have a child with ADHD and autism, because for a while, man, I was going from place to place trying to, get the proper help for my son. And I know that the medication wasn't helping him, but the way the schools they make these kids take these medications, and you're forced to give them to them if you want to have your child in a public school or in a charter school or in a private school, and don't want to be in truancy and much more. But shout out to those parents. I feel as though that these things these are things that can be changed, right? Right now I just hear a lot of people giving excuses, but me personally, right, personally, I feel that these things could be changed if more people got together, right? Like if we got together for the right reasons instead for the wrong reasons, a lot of us could actually make a difference. A lot of us could actually make a change. And I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, but what's crazy is the people that are saying this have actually shown y'all, right, how they've done and they took these steps, right? And it has helped them. It has bettered them. So for those that be like, oh, I ain't got time for that, that's the problem. You ain't got time to better yourself, right? I may sound harsh saying that, but at the end of the day, that's the problem. Like I just said, we keep making excuses on why we can't better ourselves. I know we got obstacles, right? But at the end of the day, what do you do with an obstacle? You find a way to go around it, over it, or find a way to move it so that you can continue, right? I mean, that's all I gotta say. I mean, so the same thing is with the kids with the ADHD and autism. The grown-ups suffer through the same thing, right? They have to find a way around that obstacle to show their skills, to show how smart they are, how good they are, how intelligent they are, that they're not just somebody labeled with some type of mental health. I mean, listen, man, I'm hoping y'all understand. I'm really hoping that y'all understand. But let's move on to the next topic.